Now, if any of you guys have designed your own, or at least it's something, you never know when you're gonna need it. And as you can see, it takes up very minimal space here. So I wanna run it through this trim. I wanna come across the top, down this pillar, and I actually have a firewall just on the side of the dash here that's gonna go right underneath the hood and then connect to the battery. And make sure that when you do this, you're going all the way to the bottom. So we wanna push it all the way in. It can't go any further. It's perfect. Now I'm gonna pull it right back out again. And I'm gonna just give it a one quick blast. I'm gonna push it in quick and let go. What's going on, Jeepers? Pat here from Journey to Jeeping, and today we're going to be doing a rear disc brake change on a 2016 Jeep Patriot. And before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. Now that's out of the way, let's get into this. Okay, so right here I've set up all the brake components I bought. We purchased this kit from PowerStop. I've used them before, been really happy with the quality. So anyways, got it again, and just go through the whole kit here. So we've got the brake pads, carbon fiber. This kit comes with all the little components you'd need. Basically you get everything with it. Even comes with some ceramic lubricant, cross-drilled and slotted rotors, both left and right. And yeah, that's basically everything. So we'll get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take off our lug nuts. I'm using a 3/4 socket and got an impact gun just to pull them off. All right, as you can see, we've got a lot of wear here. These are pretty much shot. You can tell by the grooves on it. It's not a smooth surface. It just gives you a ripple effect across there. And yeah, they're looking pretty rough shape. So definitely time to change them out. So I just want to point out quick, one of the things you want to look at, try and zoom in here, you can see a lot of sort of like metal dust here. That's a dead giveaway that something's going on. You can tell if I get in nice and close here, you can see that's not a smooth surface. That's pretty chewed up. Okay, so after some fighting, I was able to get the bottom bolt for the caliper out here. Now, this top one, you will notice you have no room because of this brake line right here. You have to use an open face wrench, but it actually starts to strip the bolt if it's seized at all. This is only a 2016 and it's already seized up pretty tight to the point where it's stripping the bolt. So I was able to remove the bottom and still lift the caliper up so I can still get at everything and leave it in, but just something to consider because it wastes a lot of time messing around with that. Okay, now for the next part, we're going to have to hammer away at this, just because it's in there good. So if you're gonna do that, I don't have a rubber mallet, so I'm just gonna use a hammer, but I've grabbed a piece of wood just to keep it from damaging, just in case. Alright guys, so After a lot of struggle, a lot of fighting, there was a pry bar involved. And there was a lot of effort to get this off because everything had been kind of seized together here. So anyways, this is what it looks like. This is pretty beat up. You can see like everything about it's chewed up. This is where your emergency brake, your e-brake is. It's just rusted right through. So it's seen better days. Anyway, so we got it off. As you can see, here's your emergency brake pads. And we're just gonna clean everything up. They are thin in nature, naturally. They are only used basically for your e-brake. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot to them. But yeah, we're gonna clean this up and then we'll start the process of putting it all back together. All right, so basically at this point, I'm just gonna go through, I'm gonna change the clips that are right here, and I'm gonna start going through the process of putting it all back together. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm using a C-clamp. Not too sure if this one will be big enough, but we'll try it. I got a bigger one, if not. But basically, we're just gonna compress the piston inside the caliper. Cut it. Let's go to a bigger size. But basically, so when you're doing this, I've just removed the lid to the brake fluid fill in the underneath the hood there. Just remove the lid, that way we can push out any air that we have in the line as we're compressing. That one will cut it. Perfect. Actually a perfect fit. You can see right now I'm just turning this nice and slow. I'm compressing the piston inside, which is actually going to push back some of the fluid. So I just want to give it somewhere to go. That's why I removed the lid. Okay, now I've done that. And continue on with replacing the pads now. Now with these, we're going to have two separate sets. That didn't feel nice. All right, so we have two separate sets, like I was saying. There's ones with the metal clips on them already. They're going to go on the outer part of the caliper there. So I'll just open them up and show you. So just in comparison, sorry, you can see the sort of lifespan there. These are pretty worn down, so got a lot beefier pad now. It's good. So these are going to go in, and we're going to install these little clips on the inner pad here. Alright, so that's one on. New pad here, and basically what you want to do, so if you look at this one here, that's, let's see, we mounted like so. So that's telling me that I need to replicate that. So I've got to put this pin right in here. There we go. That's that. So that is how that's going to sit. Now, what I might do is actually remove this rotor here, just to give me a better view of what I'm doing with this. Now that everything's new, nice and snug. Ooh, that one's gonna hurt. Okay. Running out of working space here. Alright, we'll fire this back on. We've got the rear pad in. Drop this down. The front pad. So what we want to do, now we're going to put in this last bolt here. Now what I like to do every time is put some anti-seize on it, just so we don't end up with basically the situation we ended up with the top here. So hopefully we can avoid that next time by keeping that from seizing. A little bit of that lubricant that came with the kit. Now it's just going to go on the shaft here. Just a little bit there. Should be good with that. Now I want to just put a little anti-seize on the threads, like I said there, just to avoid any further issues. You just want to make sure you're getting it right in the threads. Just use the brushes to really push it in there. And you don't need a whole lot either. That will make all the difference in the world. All right. Now for the fun part, we're gonna have to line this up with the little rubber sleeve. The kit comes with replacement sleeves if you want. I usually don't bother unless there is damage done to it. In this case, it was fine. So, okay, at this point, I'm going to pump the brakes inside the car. And that's just to fill the line up again. There you go, we're nice and tight and in place. So I'm just gonna throw the rim back on. We'll be good to go. Okay, and now when we're putting the wheels back on, we want to put the bolts in a star pattern. And the nuts, sorry. So basically we're gonna just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the direction we want to go. We want to make sure we're tightening them in that direction, and that's just to make sure that we're taking the rim and pressing it evenly. So we're not going to end up with getting basically a little bit of a speed wobble while you're going. And then when you're done that, you want to make sure that you're using a torque wrench. Off the top of my head, I'm not too sure what the exact torque specs are on these. Normally I say you're safe between 90 and 114. That's just my rule of thumb. But I'm not a mechanic, so it wouldn't hurt just to do your research to be 100% sure. But that's what I like to go by anyhow. Alright guys, so basically that's it. Again, I'm not a mechanic, so this is just, I do it myself in my driveway. You know, do it at your own risk. But just don't forget, tighten those lug nuts, make sure you use a torque wrench after. Like I said, I usually go between 90 and 114 foot-pounds. But do your research to find out the exact specs for each vehicle. Alright guys, that's it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on next week's video. And we'll see you next week.